Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and all aboard the train to Spoiler Town because we've got immense amounts of spoilers from Ultimate Masters, and they look amazing, which is a spoiler alert for the spoilers. So first up, we've got All Is Dust, the famous Eldrazi board wipe. That artwork is so wild. Everybody loves it. This was in a really early Modern Masters, I believe number 2 it was, and it was a dirt cheap card when it came out. And then people started putting it in stuff, and then it hit like $15. So now, Card Kingdom, as of right now, unlike this morning, has actual pre-order prices, and they've got it at $10. Very respectable. They did not keep some of the prices respectable. Spoiler alert. Next up, a card that has been printed since Urza's Saga. It's another huge money rare, Back to Basics. They got some wacky Dr. Seuss art going on there. I don't know what's going on. Looks like some kind of bendy trees. But non-basic lands don't untap during the controller's untap steps. Here, I'll save you some time. It's not legal in Modern. This is the blue version of Blood Moon, but worse. This card is literally AIDS, everybody hates it, and nobody in the right mind would draft it unless they're money drafting. So this is in here just for the money. By the way, this set is barely draftable. Just overall, it's designed for money. It's not designed for draftability. This is not Conspiracy 3. So this was 16. Card Kingdom has it at 40, which is probably pretty appropriate. It fits into certain decks. Next up, another foreign language card, because Wizards of the Coast is woke as hell. They're so multicultural and diverse. Can you taste it and feel it blasting you in the face with multiculturalism? They are such a global company, you guys. Anyway, I don't even need to look this one up. It's become immense. This is in my Modern deck. It costs 6, and you can delve it down to, well, 1. If you do, single target, +6/+6, and this is instant speed. So I use it in my double strike deck, and it is killer. It ain't worth crap, but it's a damn good spell. Next up, Faithless Looting. Pretty famous card, but it's only a common, and they've got it at 50 cents. It was previously $1.50. Oh boy. But everyone's heard of this card. It's a 1-cost sorcery. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards and flashback 3, so you can cast it again and exile it. If I recall, I think it's mostly a Storm Enabler. I don't know. Somebody probably puts it in all kinds of stuff. Next up, another fairly expensive common here. Hasn't been printed since Urza's Legacy, so it's nice of them to just fill these in so people can just buy them at all. So this translates to Frantic Search. It's a 3-cost instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Untap up to 3 lands, which is nice because this costs 3 lands. Okay, 3 mana. Not everybody uses lands to generate mana. Honestly, just an absolutely fantastic card. I'm glad they're reprinting it. It'll be really fun to draft, too. Next up, Nourishing Shoal. This is a Betrayers of Kamigawa spell, a rare, actually, and they kept it at rare, of course. And that's green X. It's an arcane instant. That's always fun. And you may remove a green card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game rather than pay Nourishing Shoal's mana cost. And then you gain X life, so kind of neat. I mean, if you really need to gain life, I mean, it doesn't strike me as that great of a card, but it's interesting. Next up, one of my personal favorites, Gurmag Angler. Oh my gosh, this thing was awesome. I put this in one of my decks. So it's a 5/5 for 7 with Delves, so you can get it down to costing, that's right, 1. A 5/5 for 1. It's late game only. Nobody ever runs 4 of them. The card's worth like 25 cents, but it's just so great. I love him. The big fish is back. Next up, hey, an old school Golgari card. Cool. This was, of course, printed in original Ravnica. It's currently sitting around $4 even for the original, so not the greatest card ever, but it's interesting. Bring it out for 5, and it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature card in your graveyard, so kind of undergrowth there. And then if you pay 1, remove a +1/+1 counter from Golgari Grave Troll and regenerate it. Also, Dredge 6. Okay, I missed that on the first read through. Anything with Dredge can go straight to hell. I hate that mechanic. I hate this card. Instead of a $4 reprint wasting everybody's time and money in the rare slot, why don't you just ban this card and then ban the mechanic of Dredge and then ban everybody who plays Dredge? Next up, Phyrexian Tower, a card that has been printed since Urza's Saga. Hello. So that version's sitting at about 34, and currently this is only down to $29.99, so basically 30 flat, little $4 discount there. It's a land, it's legendary. You can add 1 colorless to your mana pool, or you can tap it, sack a creature, and add 2 black. That is some mega good ramp. I mean, unbelievably good card in Commander, and I'm sure it's in some other Vintage and Legacy decks, or one or the other, I should say. Hell, maybe both. I don't know. It's extra mana. It doesn't even come in tapped, and plus it's another $30 card in the rare slot. Damn! I told you guys, they're pulling out all the stops. They're just collecting as much money as they possibly can from the secondary market, adding the blue pack so that the price increase doesn't look too crazy, and it doesn't because blue pack's worth $100. And they're just like, screw it, let's make every format more affordable. Anybody dumb enough to be investing in singles at this point after 2 years of them warning people, like between the lines and basically blatantly, to sell their stuff because they're going to reprint stuff like crazy? If you're still holding cards at this point, you deserve to lose all the money because you're an idiot. You missed 2 years of signs. I mean, what the hell? Next up, another common, Reckless Wurm. This is a pretty neat card too. I mean, it's only 20 cents, but it hasn't been printed since Planar Chaos. I mean, are you sensing a little bit of a pattern here? So it's a 4/4 for 5 with Trample, and it has Madness 3. If you discard this card, then discard it into exile, and then cast it for 3. I'm not even messing around right now. I had no idea that Madness, when it was in the Shadows block, that was an existing keyword. Never seen it before in my entire life. Next up, classic card. I know for a fact it's worth 25 cents because I have a 3rd edition version of it, and 4th and probably 5th. So for 4, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Only your graveyard, unlike Rise from the Grave, which is 5, but I'd say this is worth it. I mean, then you're in full control and don't have to rely on what they're playing and stuff that's already dead. This card goes all the way back to Alpha and Beta, and even Alpha's only $45, so, you know, not exactly money, but very, very classic, might I even say iconic card. Oh, I might, and I did. Next up, Ruined Halo. I just sold 5 of these a couple months ago. Suck it, everybody. Oh, I got off that train at the money station. So, as of right now, the Shadow Moor version of this, which is the only time it was printed, was $25. So the new one, they're selling them for $18 flat. This is a damn powerful card. It's a double white enchantment, and when it enters battlefield, choose a card name. You have protection from the chosen name. So they even added the reminder text. You can't be targeted, dealt damaged, or enchanted by anything with that name. Oh, there's way more to it than that. Anyway, protection is confusing, but yeah, this is like crazy good. But hey, another 10 plus in the rare slot. I mean, this thing's going to be pre-ordering at $400 tomorrow morning. That's an exaggeration, but you get my point. There is some money in this set. Next up, another common from Cold Snap. That's the only time it was ever printed. Who cares if it's 35 cents? At least there's another version of it now. I mean, it just is nice for supply side, you know? What if not every vendor has cards that old and, you know, that small of print runs? So this is kind of nice. What's not nice is the quality that this was leaked at. Come on, get it together, whoever's promo this was, or preview, or whatever they call it. Oh, an Escusser reward. That's what they call it. Anyway, Runesnake, instant. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, plus an additional 2 for each card named Runesnake in each graveyard. Ouch! Honestly, the fact that it doesn't have to be a non-creature spell, I'd put this above Spell Pierce. I know that's going to be highly controversial, but in most games, especially fast games, this basically is a cancel. I mean, the spell Counterspell will always be better than this by far, but it's still a damn good card. Next up, Seismic Assault, triple red, absolutely awesome enchantment. I love that artwork, it's so crazy. Now, this was about a $3 card, and they're only asking $1 for the reprint, because I mean, it's been printed so many damn times, but discard a land card, and Seismic Assault deals 2 damage to any target. I mean, if you're drawing mountains and you just don't need to go any higher because you're doing like, what, Goblin Rush, Cheap Burn, whatever, 2 more damage. The problem is you had to waste 3 mana on this stupid thing, which does 0 damage right off the bat, so not that great in burn, but I mean, in certain mono-red decks, or like mono-red Devotion, or some kind of weird commander thing, it's playable. This actually would be a reasonably good pick in a draft. I mean, especially if you're only going 2 color. Next up, Shirei, Shizo's Caretaker, or Shizo, not Shizo. I don't know. Could be Schizo's Caretaker. I don't know. But it's a $2 card from Betrayers of Kamigawa. Whatever, they downshifted it from rare to uncommon. That's cool. And whenever a creature with power 1 or less is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step if this is still on the battlefield. That's kind of neat, but it's a 2/2 for 5, so that's a little weird. A little bit of a stretch to make something happen here, but I'm sure somebody put it in some deck list. Next up, Sigil of the New Dawn with new artwork, and it was only printed in Onslaught. Unfortunately, that version is strangely 31 cents. Oh, that's because they only have EX on Card Kingdom. Okay. Maybe Near Mint is 50 cents. Who knows? But, I mean, it's not money, but it's a good card. So you pay 4 whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield. You may pay 2 if you do return it to your hand. That's still insurance policy. I mean, 4 is a little up there, but with what it does, I'd pretty much expect to pay 4. Kind of cool, though. I like it. The fact that there's no restriction on the creature whatsoever for size or, power, mana cost, any of that. Love it. Next up, Treasure Cruise. Everybody remembers this one. I don't think the foil of this is still worth a ton because it's banned in, like, everything. No, seriously, it's banned in Modern, banned in Legacy, restricted in Vintage, and legal in Commander because why the hell not? This card was blatantly a mistake. It was just plain a mistake. It's that simple. I guess they've never heard of Delve or Self-Mill. I guess that wasn't even on their radar. That nobody at Wizards has heard of that. I've heard of it. I just checked. The foil's $3.50, but it used to be $35. So, a little bit of a downfall there. So honestly, this would be a pretty killer card to draft. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, that Delve, you get it down to 1 and draw 3 cards for 1 mana. Or, even if you paid 5 for it, it's still an okay deal. Next up, Visions of Beyond. It was from M12, and that was it. That was the only time this was printed. Kind of random, considering it was a core set. And they like to share cards between 10, 11, and 12, and 13 especially. But yeah, current one's sitting at $2. Cool. It's a rare, but whatever. It's a 1-cost instant. Draw a card. If a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, draw 3 cards instead. A graveyard, by the way. Pretty damn good card if you're playing Mill. I mean, this will just reload your arsenal, and they're going to be the one with 20. I guess you could put this in some weird self-mill or super slow deck, but I don't think that's what people use it for. I was going to say, oh, good, this helps people out because it goes from 450 and you're probably running like, maybe 4 of them in a deck. I almost said 5. Yeah, better not be. But this just helps out Mill. So, Mill people you don't need help. I mean, clearly you need help, but not in this way. By the way, undraftable card. Completely useless in draft. I mean, it'll shrink your deck. Cool if you're trying to get to like some kind of bomb, but like, come on. Next up, an old Odyssey card. It's been reprinted in some dual decks though. Wild Mongrel. It's a 2/2 for 2, and you can discard a card and it gets +1/+1 and becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. That was kind of relevant back then, not so much right now. 25-cent card. I think they just printed it because it's old. I mean, that just get the supply up there, which I can't really disagree with that even at the current price. I think that is really nice. And that started with W, and these were in alphabetical order, so you know what that means. The next card is Windows Vista. Everybody loses. Everybody at your table loses, okay? You play it for 0, and everybody in your entire store loses. Oh, sorry, I don't have an image of it. So that's it for now, but wow, there's a lot of 20 plus in the rare slot. I mean, not even just 10 plus where it's like, cool, you broke even, yay, what foil did you get? No, this is like serious money. If I were you, I would go on, God, I almost don't even want to say it. I know the 3 places that have it for the cheapest, and they're all between $255 and $265. eBay is not one of them. But like, this thing is going to hit 300 so damn quick. Probably within a couple days. I would get a pre-order in wherever you're comfortable getting it in. Or just don't touch it and buy the singles, which is the way smarter thing to do. But if you're going to like try to open it and like make money or make most of your money back and then just keep the rest for deck building or something, or some kind of cool like block specific cube, well, reprint set specific cube, basically UMA cube. I mean, these are from all different blocks, obviously. That'd be cool. Otherwise, my advice still ongoing with this whole product and every master set is don't buy it. You don't need to buy it. Why are you buying it? If you want cards from it, just buy the individual cards. But if you's a gambling boy, then this ain't a bad set, looks like. Can't wait to do the EV on it. So actually, I take it back a little bit. I think they're being a lot more conservative with this and trying to maintain some value. I mean, they have been doing that even for standard, kind of setting the pre-release or pre-order prices, I should say. I mean, it is pre-release, but the pre-order price is kind of high. So hopefully they don't dump on this too hard. I think the fact that everybody just lost faith in this right off the bat, even looking at the initial 40, and then just dumped the price down the toilet for, pre-orders, I think they're going to be kicking themselves. I think they're going to be canceling pre-orders. If that happens to you, let me know the vendor's name. I'll shout them out. But yeah, don't expect the price on a box like 3 days before release to be really below 300. I just don't see that happening. Not with this kind of money in it. This is going to be some crazy crap. So it should be interesting to get a final EV. I mean, there's not much room in like the actual rare slot to put crap in it. Even if it was literally all 25 cents from here on, I think we've got enough value to prop this above $450 already. Can't wait to do the final numbers, and stay tuned to this channel. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss the rest of these in-depth analysis of these spoilers, because it is getting spicy with this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next video.